Have you ever thought about that? Because I would totally understand if you say no, because I've never thought about it with the podcast. But you ever thought, like, what about the little fucking girls who hear my music? Like, are they going to be influenced? Are they going to, I don't know, are they going to become good citizens?
I'll never worry about that, nah. Because, you know, music is like a work of art. You know, and you can't judge a book by its cover. That's why I got this tattoo, actually. It says, not all those who wander are lost. So, like, basically, you know, I got this tattoo when I was 16. And just because I say what I say and I do what I do on the outside, you know, looking, it might be whoa, but that don't mean that I don't have, like, common sense. And I'm not, at the end of the day, like, I respect myself. I'm a young woman at the end of the day. So, you know, just one of those situations.
I was going back. I watched, like, your earliest output, the goofy ass N-words video. I did not know about that when I interviewed you previously, because they gave me like 5 seconds worth of time to prep for that one at Rolling Loud.
Okay.
So I'm seeing you in like this. I'm like, oh, this is a very different Coi Leray. She's in the trap house or like the living room, whatever it might have been.
Well, I gotta be in the trap house.
I mean, it's just like a different version. You kind of crammed in the living room with like 20 people. And
I was had my little braids.
Yes, you were swagging.
If you seen the video, I was so drunk.
You were drunk in that video?
I was so drunk. My eyes was bloodshot red in that video.
Really? I didn't know that.
I was lit.
I'm very curious about what your adolescent phase was like. Like, in particular, just watching that video, I'm like, I want to know where she was at in her youth at the time that video was made.
At the time, I was living on my own. Feel me? So I was hungry.
Really?
Yeah, I was living on my own. I was living on my own since I was 17.
What happened? Why would you end up living on your own?
It was towards like 10th grade. 10th grade, I dropped out of high school because I was working in sales.
Sales? That's you trying to not tell us where you were working?
Explore Enterprise.
The fuck is that?
And then Yellowstone Capital. So Explore Enterprise and then also Push the Cart. So those is 3 sales jobs. My first one was Explore. I was making at least like $750, $800 a week, Friday, no taxes, cash. I was a top saleswoman, and if I was not number 1, I was definitely number 2.
And you just hated school, so you were like, "Fucking, I'm gonna go."
It's not that I hated school. It's just it was at a moment where, you know, me, my mom, my brothers, like we was just, you know, we were struggling. Feel me? And I always wanted to just keep up with what I needed to do. Like I wanted to stay fly. I wanted to get my hair done, my nails done, and I wanted my own crib. I'm the only girl. Feel me? I got 5 brothers. Well, I have 4 brothers, but now I got 5 brothers. And, you know, I'm like, yo, I can't work and go to school at the same time. So I told my mother, sign me out. I was making a lot of money. I was like, it was like for me at 16, $750, $800 a week for cash was like a blessing to me. So then I upgraded to Push the Cart. And that's when I started making $1,300, $1,500 every Friday, $1,200.
You knew you had no use for school.
I never was a failure. Like, I ain't fail, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was never a get back type of chick. If anything, you know, I ain't never get an F. Lowest grade I got was a D. Feel me? Like, if I failed, it was like Spanish class or some shit like that. But I always apply myself in every class. I just, you know, if I could go back, though, I would. I sometimes say, like, I wish I never dropped out because I missed a lot of vocabulary. That's the only thing I feel like I missed is a lot of vocabulary throughout like from 11th and 12th grade or whatever, I guess, in the rest of 10th. That could be applied to, that could probably make my music 10 times stronger. So now I gotta like make sure I read and, you know, I don't even like reading. I gotta watch like educating movies and just really try to make sure I'm up to date with the vocab.
Yeah, when I look back at school, I'm like, God, what the fuck was wrong with me? Why didn't I just do my fucking work? My parents would have left me alone. They would have let me do whatever I wanted if I had just done okay in school. And instead, I just couldn't bring myself to like work and just do it.
Everybody was getting their own money. Feel me? Everybody was getting money. Like, everybody was getting their own money. Like, once we had to like starve and get the taste, because I call myself Hannah Montana. I had the best of both worlds. Feel me? So it's like I grew up my dad, whatever, being in this, having the Source magazine, like, you know, my pops.
I do.
And then from, you know, it was at a moment where, you know, shit wasn't there no more. So reality hit. And thank God it did, because it humbled the shit out of me. And I really learned a lot throughout those days. So it's not like, you know, it went, so, you know, food stamps, low eviction notices or whatever and shit we went through. And that's what made me and my brothers really had to go hard. Like, niggas was starving. So whether if niggas was hustling and working, I always had a job. I worked at A&P Supermarket, Dunkin' Donuts, Palermo's Bakery. I worked at a fucking pizzeria. Like, I ain't give a fuck. I wanted to make sure I stayed. I like to smoke. I had to support my habit.
From a very young age?
Yeah.
You were smoking big dope.
I was smoking weed for a long time.
It'd be an expensive habit.
Weed is expensive. I wish I never fucking smoked. That's one thing. I don't care about nothing else. But if I advise you don't smoke, it's because the shit is just costly. Unless you grow your own.
Right.
You feel me?
Or you rob the plug.
Even then, after you was smoking, who else you getting robbed?
You're gonna need more.
Yeah.
Wait, so this was a thing that you had there was like a stage in your life where your father was doing very well. For those who don't know, Benzino, formerly of The Source, and then the money sort of slowed up.
Yeah, like just, things just started happening. Reality just started hitting. I was like 9. I was too young to really understand any of that shit, to really actually live it. So I was young, like I knew we had money, but I didn't really know what's going on. You feel me? I just knew that at the time, like, Source was huge, and it got a lot of fucking credit. And I just seen the Source Wars, my dad come home. It was just a lot of shit that I seen. And I got my brothers, like, we always lived in a big ass house, and me and my brothers, we just ran. He'll fly all my cousins from Boston. It would just be me and my brothers and all my cousins from Boston in the crib, and we just be just doing whatever the fuck we want. And like I said, though, reality hit, and my dad went his way, my mom went her way.
Okay, so they got divorced when you were what? Like,
they was never married.
Oh, okay.
Word.
But they weren't together all of a sudden when you were like, what, 10, 11-ish?
Nah, they separated. It was over.
Oh, before.
She went her way, me and the boys went with her. But we spent every vacation with my father. And my father continued to, like, take care of, what I'm saying? My dad bought me my first car. It was a Jeep Wrangler.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a drop top, all black. Ooh. Yeah. I was like 60. I was just like, Dad, I don't care. I just told him, my dad started telling me, like, you guys gotta start, I'm gonna provide for you as much as possible, and I'm gonna hold it down, but I gotta, figure everything out to make sure I could do that. But you gotta do it too. And I respect him for it, because if he would have never told me that shit, I would have always felt like, then at that point you could call it like a silver spoon situation, but it wasn't that situation.
Well, that's interesting, because probably like some people from my generation who find out who your dad is might think that you kind of had an easy upbringing at some point, but you're kind of saying the opposite, that he sort of put the hustle mentality in your, put the ball in your court.
Hell yeah, you put the ball in my court, and that's why I feel like it was just passed down to me. Like, I'm the chosen one out of my family, Like, my dad had his time, and he put us all in a position to go ahead and really, do what we need to do, and he inspired me too in the music. He always had a studio. Nigga was never on the radio. He was on the radio with Pop the Party, Rock the Party and shit like that, but like, in the past couple of years, no. But he stayed doing music. So I used to be like, yo, why you not on the radio? He'd be like, I don't give a fuck if I'm not on the radio, if nobody fucking listens to my shit. I like to make music, and that's just what I do, and I'm never gonna stop. So he always got a studio. So now I had a studio in every crib since I signed my deal.
Really?
Yeah, every single crib. Feel me? And, like I said, I was too young to really understand the business side of everything and, what he went through. But what I did take from him was just like the ability to just really fucking go hard and hustle, So
do you have memories of actually getting on songs as like a really, really young kid?
Yeah, hell yeah. My dad was just like, we was in the studio. He had a studio, so his engineer, he'd be like, yo, record my kids. Me and Taj got a little song, and my dad shot that video.
Wow.
Yeah, he had the camera. Like, my dad shot the video. He was just...
Wait, he shot the goofy ass?
Nah, he ain't shot goofy ass niggas. I got a video when I was like 14.
Okay.
With Taj. And he shot it. A lot of people know about that, about like my old videos or whatever. When you YouTube me, you see a lot of...
Did you take them down at some point?
Nah, they still up there. I'm trying to get them down, but niggas be like, nah, just let it tell the story. I'd be like, man, get rid of them shits.
I couldn't tell if they were like re-uploads or if those were the original channels they were on. Okay.
I can't. I'm trying to get them down.
But so that's interesting. So you very much like grew up with it as like a normal thing in your head. Like, I could just make music. I can do this. Like, it's not even anything out of the ordinary for me to make a song or...
I was doing everything. I was in a movie. I was in a movie. Me and Todd was in a movie. We was in my dad every vacation. We went with him. So summer vacation in Miami. Malcolm Jones. I guess he directed a lot of his videos. So he came to the studio. He was like, yo, I need two kids to play this role, and your kids would be perfect. So we played the role, but I end up leading the lead part because my shit was so lit. So like I said, I'm the chosen one. Like, I've been talented in every single thing I did. I was acting, I was singing, I was dancing, I did jazz, tap, ballet. I I was all, rapping and freestyling or whatever I could. I could draw. I could do hair. Like, I could put a whole lace front in your hair. I don't even wear weave.
Wow.
Feel me? Like, yeah, I could do it all.
So you always had that kind of confidence that you always believed that you were special?
Always. I grew up around boys.
You think your parents put that in you, or do you think that was just natural?
100%. My dad didn't give a fuck what nobody said. It could have hurt him. You know what I'm saying? It could have killed a lot of relationships. It could have made it better, whatever it is, but he didn't give a fuck. He was true to himself, and he stayed himself. Same thing with my mother. My mother's a gangster.
Really?
Like, she's a different type of breed. And, but one thing about her is she's a woman of God. And that's like where my sanity come from. Feel me? So, it's just, and like I said, I grew up around boys. Nobody played no type of pity.
Nobody treated you soft or easy?
Hell no. Yo, my brothers used to play drown me in the pool, yo.
Oh, shit.
Like, I used to be like 6, not even 6, like probably like 4 or 5. I'll never forget this shit. And them niggas used to throw me in the pool and try to save me because they knew I couldn't swim. Yo, bro, I used to be like, yo, my mom was on vacations. My dad was out working. It was just us and a bunch of kids. I grew up with a bunch of kids in the crib. My aunt Niecy took care of us. Like,
Not
it was
knowing
crazy.
what the hell is okay or not?
Nah.
Wow.
Nah, we was going crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.